Hello, everybody, and welcome back to First and Last. It's Season 8, Episode 1. My name is Josh, and with me this week, like usual, we've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up, Pasta Pals?
Hello.
What's up?
I'm keto now, so I don't get to eat pasta.
Yeah, try to
that
be
sucks.
inclusive, Jimmy.
Sucks for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, that's not. It's
There's
not for anybody's. It's not anybody's fault but my own.
There's probably keto pasta. What can
Yeah.
you eat on the keto?
There's no way that's got to be good.
Keto pasta is just like ground beef made into strings.
Oh, then I had that yesterday. No.
I'm trying to think of a meat that you can make stringy like spaghetti. Probably not a whole lot, but
Just don't. This is already worse than the spaghetti hot dog.
pulled pork, maybe.
That's probably the closest. Yeah, those are the noodles. The pulled pork itself is the noodle.
Yeah.
And then you actually make meatballs and put it in the pulled pork. And then
Mhm.
now you got spaghetti meatballs.
There you go. Put some parm over that. Chef's
Put some
kiss.
meat on your meat.
I can have parm. Yeah, parm's
You can
cheese.
have
That's
parm.
fine. Well, maybe parm's probably high carbs because it's more processed.
Well, I'm talking like a block
the
of parm that you're
Legit.
Oh
parm.
yeah, legit parm.
like
I
not
bet I
like what we gotta have a separate name for like craft graded parm because I do like that too. It's like there are times where I want just the shaky parm and not like off a block to shave it
Not
off.
the for real parm.
Those are
Yeah, I
different
don't know.
things to me. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a different mood.
So you're just eating meat and cheese over there? Living the dream?
No, I can.
Charcuterie
You
board
can eat
after
other
charcuterie
things.
board.
It's just way less carbs. Trying to keep it
All right.
below 20 grams of carbs a day, which is hard because we don't use the metric system, so it's already foreign.
Mhm.
And like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this isn't too bad. This is easy. This is pretty solid. I've only had like 12 grams of carbs today. And then you just look at anything, like eat an apple. It's like 15 to 20 carbs alone. Look at a piece of bread. It's like 16. It's like, what the hell?
Mhm.
If there's one thing
My
I've
bread's
discovered in this 2 weeks that I've been doing it, carbs are so good. Everything that has a carb on it is delicious.
Yeah, we made an apple bread last week. It was pretty good.
Oh, ooh,
I haven't had
Exactly the two things you mentioned.
Oh man, I haven't had a slice of bread in a long time, and I want one.
Mm.
Couldn't you
can't-
just eat like a half a bread and that would be your carb for the day?
Yeah, that's the thing is you got to plan because I guess it's like you could. I mean, I could wake up in the morning and eat some hash browns with my eggs and stuff, but I think that's then I'm done. That's it. Then I'm just eating meat for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the you can always be sure that meat doesn't have carbs.
Interesting.
Yep, it's like meat and spinach. It's my
Good
diet.
old diet culture. That's what this pod's about.
Yeah. But in case we weren't talking about diets, Joe,
Mhm.
what is this podcast about? For people that love the number 8 and clicked on season 8, episode 1.
It's a TV pod. We take a TV show, and just like the title says, we watch only the first and last episodes. In between, we talk about what we saw from the pilot and try to make predictions based on just the pilot, and hope they come true by the finale. For a lot of shows that change a whole lot, it's not a good hit
perfect
rate
system.
for not a big hit rate for accurate predictions, but we do get to see some stuff.
Some people are more accurate than others, Joe.
Yeah.
Double
Joe,
champ.
you're doing your show today.
Yeah.
It's your show.
Uh-huh.
But I will say, based on what you just said, I have officially finished all of The Man in the High Castle.
Oh, cool.
And I will officially say you should go watch that
Good
show.
show.
It's a good
Makes
show.
sense.
I also will say, if we just had only watched the second to last episode and then the last episode as well, everything about that show would have been like, I get it.
Okay. You just need that little bit more.
It's like a little bit more. Yeah. Very interesting. Good show.
Interesting.
Don't like how much you might want me to like a Nazi guy, but besides that, good show.
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what happens sometimes when you see the first and last. You don't get quite enough. It's like having only 20 grams of carbs.
I'm trying to connect those dots. It's not working out. Well, it is your show today, Joe. So what did you pick?
I was looking for something a little more beefy this week. I wanted to do kind of an hour long.
Keto? You were going keto too on shows?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to pick shows with no carbs, just cheese.
Delicious.
Yeah, so I picked I need to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. It's called The 100. Because it's spelled like THE space 100, and I cannot stop saying the 100.
I think it is the 100.
On Wikipedia, it says the 100 parentheses pronounced the 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess I've just been saying it wrong.
I can't stop saying the 100, but apparently it's called the 100.
This literally, even before I look anything up, number one, I've never heard of this show before.
What?
But it sounds like one of those shows. There's other shows that are like, it sounds like one of those shows that a bunch of people disappeared and then they all came back.
That's the 4400.
Wait, what? Is that? Yeah.
That's another sci-fi show on Netflix.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of people were on a plane, but then they disappeared or something. That's the 4400.
That's the 4400. All right. So what's up with this 100 then?
I guess I've read a little bit on the Wikipedia, but essentially what I know is it's post-apocalyptic and there's 100.
I've seen
100
a bunch
people.
of this.
Okay.
You seen this, Jimmy?
I've seen it. I saw the first few seasons of this, and then it kind of I mean, it's a sci-fi show on the CW, so it gets away. It gets kind of crazy when they've run out of ideas. But I think it just ended, didn't it? Recently?
Yeah, it ended in September of last year.
Okay. Nice. I'm excited for this.
Did they try this? Did they make the 100 go for 100 episodes?
Did it?
Yeah.
100.
The 100.
The 100. It went for
I'm on
100 episodes.
Yeah. I'm on Wikipedia.
100.
I'm on Wikipedia now and it definitely says pronounced the 100, just like Joe said. So he's right.
Like
so
in
yeah.
bold.
So it went 7 seasons and 100 episodes.
Yeah,
So,
it's a bummer. 3 short.
When did it run?
March 2014 to September of 2020.
Oh, it started on the 19th, 3 days before whatever numbered birthday I was on in 2014. I'm not doing
Sure,
math
was
for
it?
you.
21st
good year.
birthday.
That doesn't sound right.
yeah,
So
but you're basically exactly right. It's a post-apocalyptic show. The Earth is we've destroyed the Earth because that's what's
Shit
happening.
happens.
But some people are on this space station that made it into this kind of community on the space station. And I think the 100 is a group of people they sent back to Earth to check it out to see if it's okay now because it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait,
they think the nuclear dust has settled or whatever.
This is Wall-E.
Yeah,
That's the plot to Wall-E.
It's Wall-E, but
Except
with 100 humans instead.
Yeah, except
instead
So-
of Wall-E.
We're proven that you can have 100 humans or a cute little robot, and they do the exact same job.
Apparently, they didn't have one single robot to send to check it out on the space station.
They were in fucking space, no robots.
They probably had some sort of tool to decide that was going to be okay.
Is that going to be the twist that the 100 are actually robots?
Man,
We'll see
save
in
it
the
for
finale.
predictions. So wait, how much of this did you watch in, Jimmy? If there's 7 seasons?
I think probably like 2 and like a couple episodes of the next season, and then I was like, nah, this is batshit. This is getting out of hand.
Well, that bodes well for 5 more seasons after that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'd
say
be
right
down.
now we've got no chance of guessing what's gonna happen in the finale in this kind of show.
Probably not.
No chance whatsoever. Okay, so yeah, it seems like some post-apocalyptic. I would not have guessed they go to space and then they came back though. That's already above my pay grade right there.
Mm-hmm.
How long afterwards do they come back? What, like 50 years?
100 years.
Is it 100? It's got to be 100 years, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Is
I think it's
everything
100
just
years.
It
in
has to be.
hundreds?
Also, 100 people sounds like a lot to send on your like reconnaissance mission. Seems like a 5-person job, at least on the ground.
You know, they gotta. I don't know. They probably.
Is it like a test colony? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I
They're
think
like,
so.
go there, try it out for a few months. Let us know if you get sick.
But it happened to be that was when the world ended, so they stayed.
I also
Um,
am pretty sure that it's because it's like a space city, that it's like a bunch of like people from the brig. Like I think this I don't think this is the best
Oh.
and brightest. Maybe some like scientists stuff, but I think it's I think they're sending down the prisoners.
The
For us.
dregs
So
of
this-
society.
So we got a little Suicide Squad mixed in here too. Like,
I think so,
If you-
if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
so we got some Chernobyl, some Suicide Squad, just some your basic CW bullshit probably.
Yeah, I might just be thinking of Suicide Squad, but and the Flareoverse.
I will say this right now. There is no possible way that both combined or separate that the finale and the premiere or pilot of this show is going to be anywhere near as bad as Suicide Squad, the movie.
The new one's
a
gonna
hill.
be great.
I will die on that hill because that is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think most CW pilots, like, you know what you're gonna get. Like, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of effects, and it's gonna be kind of crazy and some drama, but it's like gonna be kind of dumb but pretty fun.
Okay.
I
A lot of
don't.
twists.
I've been looking at some of the main starring characters. Eliza Taylor, Thomas McDonnell, Eli Gorey. Apologies to all of you for saying probably all of your names incorrectly.
There's a guy named Bob Morley, and I said that correctly.
Yeah, I saw his name too, and I was like, Bob Marley. And then I was like, that's not right. But one that I did click on, because I was just clicking on their links to see their picture, see if I recognized them. One I clicked, she didn't have a picture. Her name is Paige Turco.
Okay.
And she is best known for her role as April O'Neil in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and 3, the
Oh.
lesser, better Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
'Cause they
Three?
replaced-
She's in Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
They replaced
She's in two
April after the first movie with a
Yeah.
different April.
Big mistake.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I think I like Secret of the Ooze April better anyway. So
I can't even picture her.
you will. She's in this show.
I guess.
How does she not have a
do-
picture on Wikipedia? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. She's April O'Neil, and she doesn't have a Wikipedia picture. It's insane.
Something else these days.
Insane. Well, okay. So, I mean, Jimmy already knows. Joe, this is your show. So I think it's only, like, it's only fair that you describe what happens in this first episode before we get into it, right?
Sure. So there's the last survivors of Earth are living on a terraformed like shell or sphere out like in orbit of Earth, and they've been living there for 100 years. So it's like generations upon, I guess not that many generations, but maybe 2 generations. Like your grandpa like used to live on Earth, but now he like lives on the colony. And they send down, let's say like 50. They take like 50 of like the best people who are like ready to like survive on a rugged, like nuclear holocaust Earth, and also 50 of just like the dregs of their society. It's like criminals, thieves, and like people who enjoy pineapple on pizza. Those are the people they send
Whoa. Whoa. Hot take.
Also, can we agree that sending initially just 100 people is too many if you're not 100% sure if this place is like okay? Like, send like 4.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but like
Maybe they're trying to about 50 of them.
Maybe they already sent like the team of 5 to go like do some tests and they think it's okay. And so now they're sending down like enough people to build a little like small town and see how that goes. I think that's my idea here.
Okay. So they already sent their maybe they did send their Wally down and now they can send their 100. Yeah.
So I think the episode is them setting up the town, picking and choosing jobs, hints at a little bit of like nefarious things going on, but I think there's like probably a twist at the end of the first episode, like someone like there's like a little kid who like has powers or something, like who can move stuff with his mind, and like they don't really explain yet if that's something he gained on Earth or is that something the kid had before that. But
it's just part of the
I think that there's more going on here than just we're on Earth and trying to rebuild Earth.
Sure.
Yeah,
so.
It's part of the Space Jam universe.
I'm going to piggyback onto what you just said then and just say that I don't think there's weird telepathic kid with them or anything like that. I think that that they go down to Earth and obviously there's people there. Like not a lot, like the and others level them out from Lost or something like that. And they're like, "Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No one's alive." And they're like, "You think literally all of us died?" "No, there's some of us, but we're weird. Maybe they have powers or something."
We're weird now.
See that, but I think the 100 meet more people on Earth. And I think at least there's hints towards that in the first episode.
The other 100.
The other 100.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Well, why don't we not worry about what you think, Jimmy, and just watch the first episode? How about that? Cool. Good. I'm glad we're in alignment. All right, so we're going to watch the first episode of The 100. I hate saying that.
Yeah,
I want to say
it hurts
The
to
100.
Say.
Yeah.
I
The
refuse.
100. It's called Pilot because nothing changes in my life. Everything's terrible. Original air date March 19th, 2014. We'll see you after that. Hey everybody, we're back from the first episode of The 100. It was called Pilot. Jimmy, do you have a write-up?
Sure do. Yeah, Pilot, March 19th, 2014. Set in an indeterminate year in the distant future, 97 years after a nuclear apocalypse has devastated the surface of the Earth, all known humans are residents of merged orbiting space stations known as the Ark. 100 juvenile delinquents are sent to Earth's surface to test its habitability. Wow, throwing all the words at me. Having been given vitals monitoring wristbands and instructions to proceed directly to Mount Weather. Among them is 17-year-old Clark Griffin, the daughter of the Ark's chief medical officer, Dr. Abby Griffin. The 100 discover a lush earth filled with new wonders and dangers. Clark and 4 others search for the former Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, a possible site of supplies. Ultimately, they discover that there are hostile survivors on the ground when Jasper, one of their party, is speared. The other delinquents remain at the landing site and, under the leadership of Bellamy, celebrate their new world. Back on the Ark, Chancellor Jaha has been shot. I think that's how you say it. Causing the merciless and unsympathetic Councilman Kane to take charge. After Abby uses too many supplies to save Jaha, Kane attempts to execute her, but Jaha recovers in time to issue Abby a pardon. So that's not exactly the chronological layout of the episode, but it's pretty good synopsis either way.
Pretty solid. Did everyone else refer to Jasper as Goggles in their notes while they were watching it until they found out, like, right at the end?
Kid.
Yeah.
He's
Like, why is he just wearing goggles?
He just got goggles on his head like he's like Seth Green and Can't Hardly Wait.
That's exactly who they modeled that after.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be kind of like a slacker stoner character or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
So Joe, Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially the premise of the show is 100 years after the humans left Earth on the space station to get rid of, flee from the nuclear stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They then sent 100. I wrote
teens.
hot teen convicts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the most
100%.
apt description.
Because they explain that like every crime on the space station is like punishable by death, except if you're under 18, then they just send you to prison. So
until you're 18. Then
until you're
die.
18. And so yeah, they're taking like these expendable like juvies and just sending them to Earth.
Yeah. And it just also happens that these expendable juvies all look fantastic. Yeah, so they all send them back to Earth. So 100 of them go back to Earth. I think it might be easier to talk about the space station people first because there's less of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's Abby Griffin, who is Clark's mom, who is April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze.
Yep.
And TMNT3. There is his name is Kane.
Yeah.
You're not named Kane and are a good guy, right?
No, never.
I didn't think so.
First name Kane.
And Jimmy, who is Kane?
Well, he's played by Henry Ian Cusack, who's in Lost fame. What's his name?
Desmond from Lost.
Oh, Desmond, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to remember, but he's
him.
the guy with the hat in the hatch that enters the numbers in Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then there was
he's a douche.
another he's obviously like a bad guy.
He's power hungry.
He's definitely he's presenting himself as he's like completely following all the rules and enforcing them to the strictest scenario to whoever to make sure humanity survives. Like he's acting like he's going to do anything to make sure humanity survives, but obviously he's kind of a bad guy.
Yeah, he's got some envy.
There was another lady that like hugged Abby right before she almost got ejected into space, but I never caught her name. Did you guys?
I did not. She also seems to be like Kane's love interest or something.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah, don't know her name,
not.
but she's best friends with Abby.
Yeah, and also most likely banging Kane.
Unfortunately.
And then basically the only other person on the space station seems to be, that we kind of got to know slightly or was important was the Chancellor guy who Abby saved, and then he saved her.
Yep. And that's
Mhm.
Dr. Burke from Grey's
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
for like 37 years or whatever.
They definitely sounded there's a problem on the space station, obviously, that they're not gonna live, like their supplies and their what's it called, the life support and whatnot. Nothing's gonna last for more than a couple months now. They did mention, they said like, oh, now that we sent those 100 down, we got like another month.
Yeah.
And I was like, so there's not that many people on this on the space station, right? Like there can't be. If 100 people gave you another month,
Oh, I don't know. A lot of oxygen.
that is a lot of oxygen. But so that's definitely obviously the problem. That's driving Kane to be a bad guy to save people. I can see him being a good guy in the end. But also I can see them not being able to hold on to a actor like Desmond for 7 seasons either.
What else is he doing?
I don't know. Yeah, Lost is over, I guess. Okay, so I mean, is that everything that's happening in the space station?
Yeah, that's everything
For the
on the
most part.
ship, on the Ark.
Mm-hmm. The Ark is the space station, yeah. And so then they send the 100 hot teens down to Earth, which is where most of my problems with the show start.
That's
Yeah.
like the whole show.
Yeah.
Joe, would you like to take this?
Well,
for a
just
minute?
that, like, I was looking for a show today, and I wanted to do something like a little more like serious and sci-fi, just because I feel like we hadn't had a show like that for a while. And then, just scrolling around, found this, saw hour-long sci-fi show, great, based on a novel, even better. Like it's literary,
Right.
great. And then when the show started and like the main character was like, I'm not even 18 yet, I was like, oh no, this is a teen sci-fi novel.
Yes.
That's when I knew
Of
I'd
that
made a
time.
huge mistake.
I feel like, man, yeah, like right when that hit, and then it was like they're all heading to Earth, and a bunch of teens. It was like very clear that this is of the ilk. Like Hunger Games was pretty hot,
Uh-huh.
like sci-fi novel turned movie, and the Divergent series started.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Post-apocalyptic.
that started the same year.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kit, I'm sure Twilight was just a few years before that.
Yeah, I was
all the-
already
all
trying to
the
look for the
rage.
love triangle.
Yeah.
Well, it's between Clark, Octavia, and Finn eventually, because Jasper's out of the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clark,
So-
Octavia, and Finn. Okay.
All right, so I guess we should just get down to. So I guess first off, they shoot the 100 kids down to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
First, number one is they get there and they're like, we're not in the right spot. We need to walk 20 miles to Mount Weather to get food.
Mm-hmm.
So what I understood when we watched the show is that they had like dropped supplies down
Yeah.
for the kids.
No.
But when the kids were talking about it, they acted like we should go to Mount Weather because there might be supplies there.
In the
100-year-old
video
supplies.
on the way down is Chancellor Thelonious. What's his name? Jaha, and he's explaining that they're being sent to this like old like military base where it was built to withstand 300 years of nuclear winter or whatever, so that there should be hundreds of years worth of
Okay.
supplies for them to survive on,
Got it.
is what I heard.
Okay, so that's fine, I guess. Their little shuttle or whatever they got down to Earth, like got off course. So it wasn't quite there, but they were pretty close. So now
20
there's
miles is pretty
100
good.
people. I would say, yeah, not that bad. They can see it, like
Bikeable.
they're like, oh, we just got to go that way. So now there's not 100 because like 2 kids died on the ship because they wanted to take their seatbelts off like
Yeah.
3/4 of the way
Feel
down.
some anti-grav.
So I think they really dodged a bullet by those kids not being alive on the ground, if I'm going to be honest.
Just weed them out.
Yeah. And so then Clark, let's go characters really quick. Clark, who's the main character,
Mhm.
blonde girl.
Eliza Taylor is her name.
Yeah, her.
She's an Australian actress.
She's the daughter then of Abby, which is April O'Neil from the space station. Then there's Finn. And I described him as a loudmouth Heath Ledger type wannabe from
Yeah, okay.
He's
from 10 Things I Hate About You.
100%.
Like the wild child with the heart of gold.
Yeah, but then he smiles at Clark and is like,
Yeah.
"Don't worry, doll. Everything's going to be great. I'm here." That kind of thing. Yeah.
He's like causing
Except
trouble, but it's charming.
Yeah. Except it works when Heath Ledger did it.
Yeah. A little more charm there. But yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then there was Bellamy Blake.
Uh-huh.
And he wasn't a convict.
Yeah. He's just like a stowaway.
He was a stowaway to get down there, and it seems like he was the one that shot the Chancellor.
They never say that, but he says something.
They alluded.
Yeah, he says something like, "Oh, if they find out what I did, they'll come kill me."
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and then later on the station, they're like, the only person unaccounted for is this guy Bellamy.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know why he had to specifically shoot like the Chancellor to get on the ship and not just like a guard to get onto the ship, but plot,
I think,
whatever.
He shot the Chancellor not to get on the ship. He shot the Chancellor because he was about to get on the ship, and because the Chancellor killed his mom, floated his mom. By the way, so the capital punishment on the space station is called they call it floated. You were floated.
Yeah.
She got floated.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
code for getting ejected into space.
I love it. So Bellamy tries to kill the Chancellor just his last shot, I think, before he leaves, because his mom was floated by the Chancellor because she was hiding their sister Octavia, who is also now on the ground because she was in juvie for being hidden or for existing, because it sounds like they have like a
one child rule.
Yeah, just for like supplies and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I mean, Blake's mom couldn't keep it in her pants, so whose fault is it, you know?
Blake's mom?
Balak.
Oh, yeah.
Who's Blake?
Bellamy.
Bellamy's mom.
Bellamy Blake.
Bellamy Blake.
Bellamy Blake is his name. Okay.
So she was floated.
Yeah,
so she was floated.
Yeah.
And then, so then there's Octavia, who is Bellamy's sister, and that's why he, like, got on the thing to, like, find her or whatever. I just wrote Hot Sis.
Yeah, she's like the token.
She's the girl that takes off her pants to go swim in a snake-filled river because she's the hot one.
That girl in the teen movie.
Yeah.
So all 98 out of the remaining 100 are down on Earth. Nobody wants to go get food or like make sure they're gonna survive. Everybody's like, we're just gonna party. We're free. Party. And Clark,
we're in the forest. Good enough.
Yeah, and like Clark and like two other, and Jasper and who was that other guy? That was with him?
Monty, I think was his name.
Monty? Okay, I didn't catch his name. And so Clark and Monty and Jasper are like, we'll go or whatever. Oh, and Finn is gonna come, and they're like, yeah, go and bring back the food. And it's like, you want 4 people to go bring back 100 people's worth of food to you?
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
Well, 90.
It's like each person carrying like 25 sandwiches at least.
Man, for 20
yeah.
miles. Sandwich ain't gonna be good anymore, bro.
I mean, obviously Clark is one of those like she has to do everything. She's the what's his name in Lost? What's the main character's name in Lost?
Jack.
That guy. Jack. She's the Jack, where like she has to do it because it's for the good of everybody. Like, you know, even though it's like literally we're gonna go there and survive. If you're not gonna come, then you're gonna die here. Like, it's pretty simple.
Like, we're gonna go to the
everybody.
food. If you get hungry, come with us. Otherwise, I don't know what you're gonna do over here.
Yeah,
we
gonna
haven't
go to
seen
the
any
food.
animals.
to the shelter. Yeah, they did see one animal on the way. This like two-faced deer,
mutant deer, radiated deer.
Mm-hmm.
which I'll be honest, I feel like that was more for shock value than any other thing that's going to really adhere to the plot by any means.
Yeah, that was a fun, like, probably right before a commercial break, like, crazy deer turns. Like, it looks all beautiful and peaceful, and they're trying to creep up on it, and then someone, like, steps on a twig, and the deer head swerves around, and you're like, oh, God, why?
Yeah, it's like Split.
But so they all go, but Octavia also decides, I don't even necessarily know why, she just decided she was going to go with those people to go get to the food.
Yeah.
Because she like wants an adventure, I think, or something.
Yeah, she keeps talking about how she like wants to have fun and do stuff. And yeah, so she's going on the trek as opposed to just like partying with everyone else. That I don't know.
I mean, in a way, it's like the most brilliant part of being a delinquent, like, of the people that are staying at the ship and just like partying, but don't have any food. Yeah. She's like, how about I just go with these other like 4 people, party along the way. Yeah. And then also when we're there, I have food.
Well, and then she's also like into Finn. So I think she's also like, well, I'll just follow this guy around.
She was into Finn, Joe.
What?
Until Jasper saved her from a river snake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had some kind of crazy, like, starved sturgeon or something.
Yeah, so I looked it up, just FYI, like, where is Mount Weather in the 100? Because I was curious if it was technically supposed to be a real thing. Where did they...
Is it a thing?
Well, so according to my Google search,
sounds like a
Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, aka the High Point Special Facility, is a U.S. government, whatever. It's located in the Blue Ridge Mountains near Bluemont, Virginia.
Huh.
So they're in Virginia.
Okay.
So does a giant river snake make sense for Virginia?
It's like nuclear holocaust, though. Like, we already saw a deer with 2 faces, so sure, river snake.
There are no rules.
I'm fine with that part. Yeah, so she decides she's gonna jump in the river, which honestly I thought was just gonna be a bunch of hot teens jumping in a river and having a little bit of fun. So snake surprised me.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi show, so it's gotta turn. The hot girl's gotta get immediately attacked by something. She takes off her clothes.
I thought
guard
she was
is down.
Like lose a leg.
I thought there was
going
to be like something wrong with the water. Like she jumps in the water and then she comes out and she's got like boils all over her legs or something.
Yeah, it seemed like a terrible idea to jump in the water after nuclear winter.
Right. And so then obviously they like stop at the river, they camp for the night. And then in the morning they make like a Tarzan rope to swing over the river so they can continue. Jasper decides that he can do it. He's going to be strong and show off for Octavia. He does the swing, lands, finds a sign that says Mount Hood or Mount Weather,
other side,
and he's like, "Yay, I did it! I'm so cool! Look at me, Octavia. Let's bang in a little bit." And then he gets killed. Then he gets hit in the chest with a javelin.
Just a giant spear, in the chest,
and he just goes flying. So like, these got to be some mutants.
I want to point out that one thing I said at the beginning before we watched was there was going to be hints of other people on this earth. And I'm pretty sure a spear through his chest is a pretty solid hint.
Nah, it was Clark the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just Clark.
Even Clark got the hint.
Yeah.
Because she was like, we're not alone.
They weren't subtle.
Here.
They weren't subtle about it.
Yeah, no, this
and then
is
I guess
just Lost, so there are people.
Yeah, this is just Lost. And I guess the only other big plot point that we haven't talked about is that Bellamy, when he stays behind with the other people by the ship, they're leading like a take off the wristbands that they have.
Yeah, he's kind of leading like a rebellion.
Which the one kid, what's that one guy's name who's like
the Chancellor's
Wells?
son?
He would've- the black guy?
Yeah.
Wells was the
Wells.
Chancellor's
Wells.
son.
Is he the Chancellor's son? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was, but I was like, I'm connecting.
You
these
could
dots
tell by
incorrectly.
being the only other black person on this show.
Yeah, they must
Oh,
be
man.
related.
Oh, they're probably related.
Oh,
Jeez.
yikes.
But
CW.
yeah, he was like, you can't do that. This isn't gonna work out. And they're like, we're taking off these things. And I was like, honestly, I don't think this is that big of a deal. You threw a bunch of convicts down. They're gonna like rebel a little bit. So, and if taking off your wristbands like makes you feel like you're more free and then you'll survive maybe or whatever, then that's fine. But I didn't really care about that
but
plot.
I liked Clark right away, who's like the voice of reason, the one voice of reason in this whole group that they sent down, is like, don't take those off because then they'll think that it's not safe to come because they'll think we're dead, and then they won't come help us. Like, and then Wells follows that up later, like, all of our doctors are up there, all of like the people who are going to help us live on this radiated earth are up there. We need them to come down.
Yeah, because the idea is you send the 100 first, and then 2 months later the rest of them will come down if it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bellamy obviously doesn't want them. He wants to talk them into taking them off, that this is rebellion, but really he just doesn't want them to come down because they're going to kill him immediately for attacking the Chancellor.
Yeah, he's not in a good position.
He got beef.
So what you guys think? Did you love it? Hate it? Meh about it?
I think I immediately hated it. Just just from the jump, I knew like it just wasn't gonna be for me. Just
The minute when she said, I'm like not 18 for like another 3 months or something like that.
That's when I knew. I was like, oh boy, it's gonna be a bunch of teens, isn't it? And then that I mean, even just beyond that, there's like smart shows out there with like teens as main characters, but this is just, I was expecting like a dumb fun sci-fi show with it being CW, but it's just like dumb fun teen sci-fi shows, just like one step too far, where it's like a lot of again, they're setting up the love triangles. There's a lot of like tell and not show, where the characters are just telling you what kind of character they are.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's what I'm looking for. I think there are things that do intrigue me about the show. Just whatever's going on with Bellamy, I feel like we don't exactly know what his intentions are and what his motives are, and I'm intrigued to see what that is all about. Is he trying to like start a whole new like rebellious colony? Is he working with somebody else? Like, I think there's something there. But I think I hate like the main teen characters enough to like not care or not care enough to know what's actually going on.
Like, you could drop it right now and be fine.
Yeah.
Well, you got one more episode, Joe.
Because like I just don't think I want to hang out with like Clark and Finn and Octavia.
Right. Sure. That makes sense. Jimmy?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I watched, and Netflix told me that I made it to season 2, like episode 14 or something, which I don't know how long this first season was, if it was a full or not. I know sometimes, that first season's a little shorter, but I think what I liked about it is that it's just space Lord of the Flies. It's just like, and so I think I immediately dismissed that they were teens, and I just kind of think of them as being even maybe younger than they are, a little more immature than because everyone is just stupid. All these kids are, and you have there's this other kid that we didn't talk about actually of the delinquents who's like the antagonist on Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot his name, but yeah, he's
John
like trying to,
Murphy, I think.
yeah, one of the Johns. He's like trying to start fights and shit.
Yeah, he's just literally just the evil. He's just evil. He's got no depth at all in his character. He's the Kane of the Earth plot. There's just a Kane on the station. I don't know. It's just it's fun to see. It becomes just a sociological like experiment at that point where like these people are just on Earth and now they're just they were nothing and now they're the kings of their world. Let's see it devolve and just will they come together? Will they kill Piggy? They're gonna kill Piggy. Have you guys read that book? Lord of the Flies?
Look, yeah.
I haven't. No.
Kill the
man.
pig. Kill the pig, Joe.
Yeah. Gatsby's
Yeah,
American
I see
Dream.
what you're saying. I'm kind of in the middle, I think, of both of you in a way. Is like I definitely, Joe, don't care about like Clark and Octavia or Finn or any of these people, and I obviously definitely don't care about the idiots that just stayed on the ship to party. Like, whatever. I'm interested in Desmond because Kane or whatever, because he's from Lost and that's fun. But the part when they're on the what would keep me watching right now, I would have definitely rolled into episode 2 just for the sole fact is I want to know where that spear came from.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing I care about is like the mysteries that the Earth holds after 100 years of radiation, and especially now that there's people there. I just want to see I just want to know who the others are. That's it. And if I figure that out and I don't like think they're super interesting, then I think I'm out. So that's where I would be going into episode 2.
That is true.
Show me the others.
I forgot about the others, and that is an interesting plot point. What's going on with those people?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was literally the last. That's the like kid gets hit with a spear. All the other kids duck down. They're like, "We're not alone" or something. And then credits roll.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Is
That's basically what they did on Last Man on Earth, and then they canceled the show.
Yeah, that's the last episode of Last Man on Earth. So that's it. Do we have anything else to chat about before we get into predictions?
I think we're good.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I can go.
Do it.
I had mentioned in like the preview that I thought that they would have powers or something. We didn't see that in the first episode, but I think like there just are superpowers from them living in like post-apocalyptic Earth, and I think Clark can manipulate fire, like Pyro from X-Men.
Excellent reference.
Yeah. Octavia's character in this first episode is kind of I don't know the word I'm looking for here, but she's like clearly just interested in like boys and partying. And I think by the end of 7 seasons here, her character just like takes a turn to like something more serious, and Octavia is leading an opposing army. She's like,
ooh,
yeah, there's like other factions, and she's like a military leader.
I like that.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say like, now she's a lesbian who doesn't party.
Yeah.
Lesbians can party, Jimmy.
No, but like if she was opposite.
Okay.
Lesbians party very hard. Let's make that clear. I have that Bellamy and Clark are now married. I think that they're like kind of teasing us with this Finn and Clark stuff, and maybe even like Wells and Clark, but I think it ends up being Bellamy and Clark.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see this dumb teen drama, Team Finn or Team Bellamy bullshit for about 7 seasons.
Yeah. Will they, won't they? They
You
won't.
think they will?
Bellamy
Bellamy
and
will.
Clark will.
Okay.
And then I will say, like, I almost kind of spoiled something for myself by looking at the IMDb. On the IMDb, I was just like looking at character names like we usually do, but I could see that for Clark Griffin and Dr. Abigail Griffin, that on their character names they had like a slash, but like my screen wasn't big enough to show what was after the slash. But it does hint to me that they play other characters somehow.
Oh, robots.
Yeah. So so my prediction is that the Griffins are clones, and that there's like
Okay.
another set of
man.
them that's like the original Griffins, and they have like different names or something. So they're
Whoa.
clones.
100 years removed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into it. I'll do mine now.
That's wild.
Joe, number one, I agree with you. I think there's superpowers.
Cool.
Someone has a superpower
Mhm.
in this episode, this last one. I don't know if it's Clark controlling fire by any means, but there is a superpower.
Is your prediction does it just say someone's superpowers?
No, it doesn't even say
As a
someone. It
verb?
just my prediction just says superpowers.
Okay.
You'll know it when you see it. And number two, I think Clark is leading some sort of rebellion or like resistance or something. There's definitely a force they're fighting against, and she's in charge of it. You know?
Do you mean by like resistance that the like against the Ark people? Is that
Don't know.
Are they the main people in
I
your
w-
mind?
Yeah, probably. I mean, probably against like the bad Ark people, like Kane, or
Yeah,
something. Like,
okay, that
the
makes
more
sense.
a bunch, most likely, like probably a bunch more Ark people came down eventually in some season, and now they want to live one way, and now like Clark and them want to live a different way, and they're trying to get away from the rule. So I think Clark
like
is
it.
leading a rebellion. Number four, I think the Ark is destroyed. No more Ark.
Boom.
And number four, maybe it's just a wish of mine, but Octavia is dead or gone.
Mm. No way, man.
God, I hope there's a blimp so bad.
No, I'm not getting sucked into that in season 8. We're done with blimps. There's never been a blimp in TV ever. I'm done with it.
Apparently not.
So, those are my four.
Nice. So my number one is just that there's a Clark and Dr. Abigail mother-daughter reunion. They're on Earth together at this point. And like I assume that like the rest of the Ark tried to come down at some point and probably mostly died or the life support, but I think somehow she makes it to Earth. Number two, I also think there's some sort of armies and resistances or something. I think we have some kind of battle scene
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
I think this is just Lord of the Rings at the end. Lord of the Flies becomes Lord of the Rings. Then number three, I think there's also though some kind of looming monster threat.
Some sort of a smoke monster, if you will.
Yeah, if you will, if you want.
Mm.
Maybe a smoke monster, maybe just a smaug, if you pronounce it that way. Smog. Lord of the Rings? No? Okay. So some sort of
Smaug.
other some sort of other looming threat besides their own epic battle that's happening. And then number four, I think Clark is Chancellor now. I think they just give her the
Clark.
reins. It's
Really?
7 years later, right? So she's in her mid-20s almost.
Chancellor of Earth.
Chancellor of Earth. So a Palpatine scenario.
Yeah, totally. She's Natalie Portman from Australia.
I'll flex with that. Cool. Was that all
That's
of
my
them?
four.
Should we All right, well, let's dive into this finale. It is called The Blood of Sanctum.
Ooh.
So it sounds intense. So we're going to watch that, and then we'll be back. Hello, everybody. We are back from the last episode of The 100. Really quick. The finale was not called The Bloods of the Sanctum, or The Blood of Sanctum. That was the end of season 6. I messed up. Joe corrected me immediately after we were done recording that part. So the last episode of this was called The Last War. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we did watch the correct last episode, The Last War. Do you, Jimmy, have a write-up for us?
I have what the Flicks tells me, which is that Jordan helps Raven and Indra, I'm going to say, plan a final... Oh, man. Now it's trying to make me watch Glow. Okay. Plan a final showdown with Bardo's army, while Clark faces a harrowing trial that will decide the fate of them all, being humanity, which seems to be about 200 people total. Not a lot of people.
Not necessarily. I read a vulture.com article entitled "So, what went down on the 100 what went down on the 100 series finale?" You don't read the 100 and say the 100. You say the 100.
The 100. That's the number. 100.
Yeah, the number's 100. You show me that number. So don't watch this show. It doesn't even understand how a title works. No, I'm just kidding. But it kind of broke things down. Basically, everybody went to Earth, and then somehow they got cryogenically frozen, and they traveled on a spaceship for 125 years until they arrived at Sanctum, a moon, where some people live. They figured out a way to save their consciousness on something called a mind drive, and one of the guys, that's what he did in this episode. He cut out the mind drive of that that tattooed face
girlfriend.
Yeah, and put it in himself. So that was the mind drive that they found on Sanctum, which I guess this must be in season 6-ish area, because
Blood of the Sanctum.
Blood of the Sanctum. I think the first episode of season 6 is called The Sanctum or something like that too. And then I'm not 100% sure what happens, but basically there's some other higher beings that have some sort of test for people, and that was what was happening at the very beginning with that cult looking white guy in white at the beginning.
Yeah.
He was, and so humanity, there's this thing called transcendence that humanity can acquire. And that's basically that's what they did at the end, where everyone turned into little yellow balls and then floated up into somewhere. They basically, all of humanity transcended then, and is in a higher plane. They're in a hive mind now of everything. They're basically flicker, a very, very luminescent Borg, essentially.
Yeah, and they left behind little traces that looked like frozen, glowing Groots.
Yeah, I'm wondering if those are going to just stay.
That's about.
And I don't know where they were. I don't know where they were, what planet, quote unquote, they were on most of the last episode, because it does say that then Clark, she wasn't allowed to go. She wasn't allowed to transcend because she murdered that guy during the test to transcend. Mm-hmm. And the rule, there is no, I mean, even in this episode, I don't know, the transcending test examiner lady who was I guess the decision maker, literally told Clark, "Oh, you can't come because you murdered someone during the test. That's never happened before." And it's well, then why can't she come then? I guess, I don't know. But she wasn't allowed to transcend, and then some of her friends apparently declined the transcend invitation and then went back to Earth with her to live out the rest of their days.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I had to rewind because the like alien celestial god being whatever was like, there'll be no offspring, and when you die you won't come be with us. Like, this is just it.
Right. I mean, they're essentially the end of humanity then, right? Because like the orb people that are like transcended, they're not humans anymore.
Right.
Yeah, there's something better. The next level, man.
So after we're done with all that dumb shit, Joe, this is all I want to know. How much did you love this?
Hey, man, it was it's hard because it's the first and last, right?
Yeah.
And this is clearly a very different show.
Right.
But I guess I would give it props for being a very different show, especially because I didn't like the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
That this is kind of intriguing to me, that it's like now it's about like transcending to another plane of existence, and it's somewhat philosophical. It still feels like a little dumb, but like whatever, I'm alright. I'm on board for a little dumb. Yeah,
Everything that I like is at least a little dumb.
yeah, exactly. Right.
At the very least.
At the very least, if I like it, it's at least a little dumb.
So like,
That's
I'm interested. Yeah. I'm interested, but it's also tough to like. So if I'm interested in this show, then where do I jump in? Where does it stop being the first show and start being the second show?
When they cryogenically freeze and go to a different moon named Sanctum, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I can tell you it's not by season 2, episode 14.
Yeah.
So, and I already said I thought it was getting nuts by then.
Yeah,
and
it
this
seems
is like
pretty.
Yeah, can you actually just really quick fill us in on what was like just like a one or two nuts things that was happening just on Earth when they were teens living their lives?
Okay, well, so they run into like a tribe of people who've been living, and I think they're like the tattooed faced people. So I think that lady is one of them. These sort of survivors, and then they also in Mount Weather find like a society of people who are like, they're not like barbaric looking. They're like wearing normal clothes from like the 1990s, and I'm pretty sure they turn out to be like cannibals or something weird. It's
I read something about cannibalism.
Okay, yeah, and
so that makes sense.
But you don't know that at first. It's very creepy.
Cannibals aren't going to just straight up tell you they're cannibals, Jimmy.
Well, sure.
I've never told you I'm a cannibal.
That's
for instance, for example.
But there certainly wasn't any like knowledge of there was no talk of going to other planets or being able to get off the Earth at all, nor any like Jodie Foster contact
Yeah.
celestial
Yeah, that
body.
is what it was. Contact. That's what I'm thinking of.
I mean,
Where they're
Josh,
taking
you
the
love
form.
Jodie Foster.
Who doesn't?
They take the form of someone you love.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I want, for aliens to come down to Earth and just be people I love.
Better than people you hate.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, this is true. I'm still interested in like what's happening on Earth, the crazy shit that you saw, Jimmy. I'm not interested in all the when I was reading kind of what happened, all the confirmed, like it's just teens on Earth being teens. Like someone on IMDb on the very last episode was like defending the show because I guess they had presumed that it had got a lot of hate. And they're like, it's not all like crazy nut stuff. So it's like like when they first got to the Earth, it's just teens on Earth being teens, living out, trying to be teens on Earth, living teen life. And I'm like, you are making it
Exactly.
worse. It was okay
Exactly.
before you said all of this. So yeah, Joe, when is the correct time to dive in? So season 3 then? Because
I don't know. Because then I feel like you need that background too to kind of understand, like, the craziness.
yeah, obviously there's a lot of character background that you're definitely going to need.
Mm-hmm.
But this is definitely like, this is just Hunger Games, Divergent, name more young adult novels that, that were popular back then.
I hope that this novel or series of novels just spins out of control like this. That'd be wild. If by the end of this book that you're reading, it's like a cult army battling some sort of tribal army. Oh yeah, did we even talk about that? So they're
No, we didn't.
and we don't. I don't think we even really know what's going on. These people are battling each other because these cult people called like the cult is called Bardo or something like that.
Something like that,
The Book of Bardo, and their whole deal is like protecting mankind, but then they're like bloodthirsty after like to go to war with these tribal people who will definitely hate them back. So then the whole celestial people are like, yeah, you can't come because you are about to wipe yourself off the face of the earth, and that's just not our vibe here. So in the plane, and
Oh, sorry. Keep going. I was just going to say there's never been a people in the entire world that said they're doing something for the good of humanity that have ever been the good guys.
that's a good point. My one other thing about the battle was the weird choral REM song. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, the choral cover of the One I Love.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't know. And then, like, where this is the end of the world, or if they're not on Earth, or they're, I don't know. I just want to know where they're getting these costumes. Like, Clark is all of a sudden just Trinity. So straight up. She's wearing a leather jacket. They have an unnecessary slow-mo of her, like, pulling grenades out of somewhere while she's on this, about to get off this elevator. Is super Matrixy for no reason. She's just got this leather biker jacket in the year whatever.
Also, Clark now kind of looks like she's trying to be like a Matrix discount Kristen Bell on this last episode.
Ooh.
Shut.
I'd watch Kristen Bell in this.
There you go. All in all, I am extremely curious in how we got to where we got to, because it seems so batshit. All we wanted to do was have people come to the earth to like re-inhabit it. And there's other people on the earth. That's going to be not okay, maybe, that kind of thing. And now it's turning into humans transcending cryogenically freezing to go to different moons and crazy stuff like that. It's got my interest perked, is all I'm saying. Because it seems so ridiculous that it could be good.
Pretty wild.
Because this is very CW.
Well, man, it's a step crazier than normal for them. It almost seems like
CW squared.
It almost seems like they, at the beginning of every season, just picked a new genre of sci-fi and just went with it.
They just had a wheel that they spun, and then they were like, I guess we're going to a different moon. Spin it again. Humans can transcend now. Spin it again.
Clark is the Matrix.
Yeah. Jimmy is someone who has had previous relationship with this TV show. Does this make you want to like kind of get back to where you left off, or are you just okay?
I will say when I like heard that the show was ending, I was like, I could go back and pick it up. We'll see. I got, I'm finishing The Strain still.
Don't do anything until you finish The Strain, Jimmy.
No,
you gotta
no.
finish it.
I think I'm in the last season, so give me a couple days. I'll start the 100. You're welcome.
I think if I watch 7 seasons of this, I think I have to just go, no, I can't call it the 100 anymore. I have to just call it the 100.
That blows my mind. I've been calling it the 100 this whole time.
Of course you would, because if you read it,
That's what it says.
when you read it, you read the 100. It's honestly my biggest problem with the show.
I mean, I think both are probably correct, right?
Joe, you're a math guy. That's
What's-
not true, but
Love the numbers. 100 is the answer.
okay.
So they are right.
Yeah, they're right.
that
Okay,
what you're saying?
Joe said they're right. Okay, there it is.
Fine, I'll watch it.
All right. Well, I guess Jimmy's gonna watch it.
I'll watch
Is
whatever.
that it?
I mean, I think so. They got freaking like gateway portals, like stargates, and they got mind drives and aliens.
I mean, honestly, if you want a show that has potentially every single science fiction trope in it, this might be the show for you.
Plus a sweet, fluffy girl at the end comes running
Fluffy?
up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's just like a golden retriever.
Yeah, she
Oh,
just has a pup, so she's
slow-mo.
not completely alone.
Yeah.
talking about Picasso.
This glorious retriever comes running up from like a mile away, and you're like, okay, this is pretty CW. Yeah, Picasso. That's a great name.
Even I think Dean had a dog in the last episode of Supernatural, if I can remember correctly.
How fluffy was it?
Oh, the fluffiest.
Cool.
So should we get into how well we did with predictions?
Oof.
Joe, you went first.
Yeah, I think this kind of went sideways, but I feel like the spirit of my predictions was right, if not the letter of my predictions.
Well, we'll find out if the points of your predictions are correct.
Yeah.
How about that?
Because I had that Clark can manipulate fire, which it doesn't seem like there's any sort of powers, even though there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
I had Octavia leads an opposing army, which it looked like she was like some sort of leader, but I wouldn't say an opposing army. She's just that's
It
the one.
seems like she was.
I was gonna say that's the one where it's my prediction came true in spirit, where I thought she was gonna be like a much more aggressive character than she was in the first episode, but not necessarily leading an army.
I kind of want to give you 0.5 for that in the spirit of what I know you were going for, because obviously she wasn't like leading anything, but she definitely like the Octavia of episode 1 and the Octavia of episode finale
100
was
100.
was 100.
She was leader enough of like the whatever tribal crew you want to call them to get them to stand down in the battle.
Yeah.
In the middle of a gunfight. So I give you 0.5 for sure.
Yeah,
Cool.
We'll give you half.
Half a point. Thanks, Octavia. I have that Bellamy and Clark are married, and it seems like Bellamy's gone, and Clark, there wasn't really any connections tied to Clark.
Just to the dog.
And then I have that the Griffins are clones, which not a point, but I'm interested to see what the deal was with that, because yeah, they did have / names on IMDb.
Yeah, her
you find
mom came back in this episode as someone else. I mean, that actress, what's her name again? Paige.
April O'Neil.
April O'Neil.
Yeah. So I was thinking that could be her slash, but
Yeah, potentially, but who the hell knows how
they probably are
working.
clones in like season 4 or something.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Right.
That's a trope they hit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably have some sort of a prediction that came true in season like 3 or 4 too, but
Okay.
there's no way to prove it.
I did a bit of light research here. The actress, I forget her name, something Taylor, plays Clark Griffin and also Josephine Lightbourne. And on the fandom page for Josephine Lightbourne, it says Josephine was one of Sanctum's primes. She was one of the original Alpha colonists. Using a mind drive and royal blood hosts, Josephine was reborn 7 times. Her last host was Clark Griffin.
What?
So I don't know what any of that means.
I think they started doing a thing when they got to Sanctum and they could quote unquote do a mind drive and just upload. You know, remember the episode of Black Mirror when they had the bean?
Mm-hmm.
That it would upload like your memories and whatnot. So like the mind drive is just the bean from Black Mirror, but then they could it seems like now that means that they could transfer that from like body to body potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means or if that's true or not, but that almost sounds like they were just like moving her then in a way.
So yeah, so not clones, but something happens
Pretty
where
close.
she plays a different character or a different character in her body or something like that.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. All right. Well, 0.5, Joe. That's what you're getting.
Cool.
Deal with it. My predictions were number 1. I said Clark leads a rebellion, and I'll be honest. I don't know.
She wasn't really even there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like she was definitely like obviously fighting for humanity, you know, but her being the leader of said rebellion or anything. I think that's too inconclusive to do anything about. So unfortunately, even I think I'm like, I think just FYI, she saved humanity, but I don't think she led a rebellion
Did she? I don't even know. I think that like Raven chick kind of saved it.
I think at least 50% of the humanity saving was Clark murdering that weird dude and then talking to the alien or whatever that lady was that let them transcend.
Because the guy was going to screw it up?
I mean, they transcended after he died, so it's not... Yes. So, yes, he was going to screw it up.
All right.
I'm not even trying to argue for points. I'm just trying to say that, like, I don't know. So that was number 1. Number 2, superpowers. I didn't.
Yeah,
There wasn't superpowers. Number 3, the Ark is destroyed. I don't know. It wasn't. Jimmy, was the Ark destroyed by the end of season 2?
I don't think so. Because I think there are people still on it that they somehow were able to fix whatever that was necessitating their like hasty whatever.
Okay,
Also,
so-
it seemed like Raven, like all of a sudden they beamed her onto it, but I didn't know if that was real because none of that seemed like it was. They were on some dock in space, like a fishing pier. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, who the hell knows what was going on there?
I think.
So that's inconclusive as well. And then my 4th one was Octavia is dead or gone, and she was not. She was an actual serious character.
Mm-hmm.
She never once in this episode took her pants off to go swimming in a lake with a snake.
She would
So-
never.
She was real bad. Did anyone else? I just thought she was so unbelievable.
Yeah, not great.
Really took me out of the moment. Okay, should I go?
Yeah, I got 0.
I have Dr. Abigail is on Earth. It was like reunited with Clark. She's definitely, clearly dead. I had 2 was some kind of battle. So that happened.
Definitely.
Then I had a looming monster, which not what I was thinking in the like celestial person. It seemed like they wanted to be with whatever was going on there. And then I had Chancellor Clark. Clark is the Chancellor, and there's no real hierarchy in that way, and she's just gonna die with her friends on Earth now. So at least I think it was Earth. So I got 1.
All right. Well, you guys are all starting season 8 better than me.
We're on the board.
Starting hot.
But don't worry. I'll get points.
I just want to take a second to thank Joe for picking a CW show for the first episode of season 8.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if
Starting
anything,
strong.
Joe, all you've done was make Jimmy just a really happy boy.
Had a great time.
So appreciation all around for that. Hey, I like a good CW show too. I'm gonna try to start that new Walker show soon.
Hell yeah.
Just for myself.
Does that mean you're picking Walker Texas Ranger next week?
Do you guys have fucking a weekend to record this podcast?
Probably.
We should do Walker soon, but Inside Baseball listeners, we can't do it on the weekday night that we normally record this podcast because it's literally too long to do that. That's a
Being
bummer.
all-nighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd do it on the Thursday night that we normally record, but I would take Friday off of work or else I wouldn't be able to. Oh my God.
For reals.
So I'm interested. So, all right. Well, that'll do it for the 100 show that we just watched tonight. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been first and last episode 1 of season 8. If you want to write into us for just personal opinions, reasons unbeknownst to us, or you want to make show suggestions, please do so. Hit us up at FNL Podcast on Twitter or on Gmail. We also have a Facebook somewhere. Jimmy knows where it is. but he's
Facebook.com.
hiding it.
FM.
Oh, Joe knows where it is too then.
It's I think they're all the same. I think it's FNL Podcast.
I think it's just FNL Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do all those things. Please show suggestions. We love them and we'll do them. We've shown that in the past. Also, if you're on some sort of listening device that has a star rating or any form of rating, throw your fingers at it and rate. That would be helpful. So that'll do it. So we'll see you next week for another episode of First and Last. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. And that's how Joe killed her.